where some folks bought an Alexa, and this is going to lead into a headline that talks about a device that actually helps prevent these devices from eavesdropping on you and your conversations. And we'll talk more about that. But first, I wanted to tell you a little bit about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposits, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started using Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. And with you tonight, it's myself, the captain.
Nobody.
And Ian.
And just continuing on with the article, Mr. Zhao and Mrs. Zhang are computer science professors at the University of Chicago. And they decided to channel their disagreement into something productive. So one guy wanted the Alexa, and the missus did not want it. And so with the help of an assistant professor, Pedro Lopez, they designed a piece of digital armor dubbed a Bracelet of Silence that will jam the Echo or any other microphones in the vicinity from listening in on the wearer's conversations. Now, as a guy who went to we'll talk about that in just a minute. As a guy who went to school for audio engineering, working a soundboard in studios, and a musician, I'm fascinated with all things audio. And I asked the exact same question that you're asking Nobody, and we'll get to that in just a second. The bracelet is like an anti-smartwatch, both in its cyberpunk aesthetic,
stupid watch,
and in its it's a dumb watch, right? And in its purpose-defeating technology. A large, somewhat ungainly white cuff with spiky transducers, also known as speakers. The bracelet has 24 tiny speakers that emit ultrasonic signals when the wearer turns it on. The sound is imperceptible to most ears, human ears, that is.
Might drive Jazzy crazy.
Maybe, with the possible exception. They say possible.
I suspect they've at least brought it near one dog to see what happens.
They do say with the possible exception of young people and dogs, because the younger you are, the more sensitive your hearing is, and of course dogs have the most sensitive hearing, of any animals that are around humans anyway, generally speaking. But nearby microphones will detect the high frequency sounds instead of other noises. It's so easy to record these days, Mr. Lopez says. This is a useful defense. When you have something private to say, you can activate it in real time. When they play back the recording, the sound is going to be gone.
Really?
During the phone interview, Mr. Lopez turned on the bracelet, resulting in a static-like white noise for the listener on the other end. So in other words, if I go over to, Nobody's house and he's got an Alexa, I know he doesn't, but hypothetically speaking, he's got an Alexa on.
If you go over to my house and I've got an Alexa, I have been replaced. Kill me.
Did somebody steal Nobody and replace him with an exact duplicate and not tell us about it? You simply just turn the bracelet on. It's got, 24 little speakers on it. It emits the equivalent of high-pitched white noise. And instead of recording whatever your conversation is, it records
amazing
instead. It's very low tech. All it is, it's just some speakers.
I've seen these white noise emitters, but you can hear them, the ones that I've seen. So this is an interesting approach.
This one's, the harmonic frequencies are outside of the human hearing spectrum. So, but it still acts as, a way to, it's masking all the other noise that the microphone is picking up is what it's doing. So it's actually a kind of a low-tech solution. Governments have experimented with sound in the past, particularly for crowd control. This is where the term, for any musicians out there, if you've ever heard the term the brown note, the brown note comes from government experimentation with crowd control. What they did is they would take low-frequency transducers and pump a whole bunch of power into them in an effort to create a subhuman harmonic frequency that would literally result in people like crapping themselves, right?
Losing control of their bowels.
Right. And this is called the brown note. So, I would make fun of my bass player when he was out of tune sometimes. Like, dude, you're out of tune. You're playing the brown note, right? Like, that kind of a thing. But, like, that's where that terminology comes from. So,
So Etor's in our Discord chat room has already come up with a way for Amazon to defeat this device. He says the bracelet is easy to neutralize. Simply have a band reject filter around its frequency or a band pass filter for the human voice.
See, that's what I'm saying. This is not going to be effective against any microphone out there. This is going to give people a false sense of security. I think. I say this having never seen or tested this device, so take it for what it's worth, which isn't very much, but I don't buy it.
A bit later in the article, they actually talk about that. They're like, this technology, seemingly could be easily circumvented by Amazon. However, there are things like randomizing the frequencies, right? So Amazon might be able to put a pass filter on it that, filters out the most common frequencies in the human speaking spectrum only listens for those frequencies, but you can still randomize that with this bracelet to interfere with those frequencies.
If you've got an Alexa and you want to be secure, then I've got a device that will fix it. It's a hammer.
I love a low-tech solution to a high-tech problem.
Oh, yeah. You can solve a lot of problems with a hammer.
Let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We have Larry in Indianapolis, Indiana. And Larry, you are on the air live on Free Talk Live.
Hey, I'm getting a good laugh. That thing, Alexa and stuff, the best way to defeat it is to don't have it in the first place. If anybody invents a device to get rid of another device, they will take your information and sell it for their stuff. So with high tech, you might as well face it. If you got it in your home, your life is an open book. Everything you do, because when you get rid of Alexa, your iPhone's going to be listening to you anyway. So if you're in the high tech, you are definitely taking a chance. But
do you have an iPhone, Larry?
I do not have an iPhone.
Do you have an Android?
I've had 2 iPhones, and I screwed them to the wall and made a sculpture out of them.
Do you have an Android?
And what it is, I don't want it in my life. I don't want it nowhere around me. I have a flip phone that I've been using for the last 5 years.
What brand is it? And
that's just fine, and I don't email. I've never sent a text. Never sent one. And only received one a few times. I'm in business, so that might hurt my business. But you know what I say? I'll take the loss.
What brand is your flip phone?
I do have a Facebook page.
The flip brand.
It's an actual FLIP?
I have no idea.
Larry,
no, but
is it a Nokia?
I'm kind of clumsy, and I drop it and break the screens on them. So I just gave up on them. But in any case, I didn't call to talk about that, really.
All right, Larry, can you hang on for just a minute? We'll hold you over.
I'll do it.
All right.
Okay.
Hold the line, Larry. We'll be right back. Yeah.
You're not going to get an answer.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Do you have an Alexa? Do you have any of these type of personal assistants? Do you care that they're listening to you? Give us your calls and your thoughts. 855-450-FREE.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you watch this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning, as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
In Baltimore, the streets have gotten safer thanks to the success of the new Permanent Daylight Initiative, which aims to prevent crime by illuminating the entire city 24 hours a day using high-powered floodlights.
It's just that it's so bright all the time, even in the rain.
City officials say there have been 0 violent crimes since the start of the program, except for one man who vandalized the light by throwing his body off a building into it. Now let's set our crosshairs on to Mountain View, California, where Gmail servers were down for nearly 2 hours today. In an online statement, the company said, "Tremble before Google. With the mere flip of a switch, we can bring you to your knees." After reestablishing service this afternoon, Google changed its logo and released a statement saying if not appeased with a 20% increase in Google Chrome downloads by the next vernal equinox, they will take back their generous gift unto mankind of colored conversation labeling. All right, you can take off your helmet. You have survived the news blitz.
This is the Onion News Network.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. The talk radio show that you can take control of. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. We've been talking a little bit about the Alexa, and somebody invented a device, a little bracelet with some transducers on it, also known as speakers, that emits some sort of a inaudible white noise that prevents these devices from recording. So if you want some privacy, you click it on. Smart folks, can disable this kind of thing. But for the moment,
And why is this thing emitting only white noise? That's racist. It should be emitting rainbow noise all over the spectrum.
There is in the audio industry, when you put up a PA system in a room that's not necessarily designed for sound, for audio, instead of emitting white noise, they emit something called pink noise. And pink noise is just like white noise, except it's at 1/3 harmonic frequencies throughout the audio spectrum. And then you put a spectrometer in the room to analyze that, and that helps you EQ out all the standing waves in the room.
See, when I hear pink noise, I imagine a completely different sound.
I imagine the artist known as Pink having a bad show.
Oh,
Pink
God.
noise.
And she's so good when she's good. That would be sad if she had a bad one.
Yeah. So we're going to talk more about that, and we started to talk to Larry, and he's on hold holding over, and we'll get back to him in just a second. But I wanted to tell you about the Edge wallet, which is available on both iOS and Android. It is a cryptocurrency wallet. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold cryptocurrencies. It is user-controlled. You own your money, and it has support for BTC, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many more. They've got a veteran team that's been building since 2014 with the tagline, Secure Your Freedom. And you can find out more about the Edge wallet at edge.app. That's edge.app. And I can say from personal experience, it's one of the best wallets I've ever used. It has a way for you to exchange currency right within the wallet. And you can use, they'll give you, generally speaking, the lowest price first if you want to exchange, between, let's say, Bitcoin Cash and something like Ethereum. They'll give you the lowest price first, but you can also get exchanges that do not require KYC. So if you value
KYC means know your customer.
Right. So if you value your anonymity, they actually help protect that by offering that within the wallet itself, which is pretty cool. Again, edge.app.
I used it tonight.
To buy your dinner?
Breakfast, but yeah.
Tonight to buy, right, because you eat breakfast at odd hours.
Yeah.
Hey, breakfast is the most important day of the week. All right. I'm sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
Let's go back to Larry. Larry, you're live on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey, one more word on computers. When you have a computer as a part of your business, when you're a small business or maybe a sole proprietor, that may affect your business in the long run in a negative way. When you build your business the old-fashioned way, one customer at a time, and you cut out all the play, you get rid of everything but the serious customer that's actually going to spend money and create a relationship with your business, and you're going to be face-to-face with them. So I think that for a small solo effort, maybe the internet can be kind of derogatory, and not only that, it wastes a lot of your time. But something funny, buddy. I mean, Joe Biden is funny, man. He called some lady a
funny, strange, or funny, haha.
Funny
he's
child molester.
He's a comedian. He called some lady a boss man lie the other day. She was saying something about him and his son in the one country, with the petroleum deal.
The Ukraine.
She said he never said nothing like that. Then he called her boss man lie. What do you guys are liberals, right?
Libertarian.
No, libertarian.
You believe in a Democrat. You think about the Democrat Party, right?
I am neither liberal. I am neither liberal nor conservative. And
who would you vote for?
I wouldn't.
Well, you'll vote for nobody.
I will vote for nobody.
I mean, so you guys don't vote then.
We believe that human interaction should be voluntary and that the government should just go away.
Amen.
I'll agree with that.
That's not going to happen. But anyway, hypothetical, if you would vote for somebody, who would you vote for?
Nobody.
I'm not interested in voting for any of these people in Washington, D.C.
See, I vote libertarian when I do vote. But that's not to say that I want a small government. It's just to say that I don't want a large government.
If the Libertarians put up a decent candidate, I would vote for them, but they haven't in the last 3 elections.
I vote for him no matter what, because I'm just saying I want more liberty. He's not going to get elected.
If you want less government, you can just limit your involvement. But the thing about it is
that doesn't work.
You can limit your involvement in government if you want less.
They're not going to limit their involvement.
They don't limit their involvement in your life. If you're doing something they don't like, they'll come kill you.
50 years. But in any case, I think that the Democrats are so funny. Every night when I come in, I always listen to radio and listen so I can get a good laugh. It's like a comedian show. Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, whoever wins is going to get ripped to shreds by Donald Trump. It's going to be so nice to see. And I'm surely going to vote for Donald.
Wait, you like Donald Trump, am I correct, Larry?
I love him. I'm voting for him. I voted for him twice, and I can't wait to vote for him again. Because
I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall.
You had that ready for
me.
Did Mexico
had that ready for me, didn't you?
Did Mexico pay for the wall?
It don't make no difference.
Mexico is the wall. He's basically blackmailed Mexico into defending their borders. So to some extent, they are paying for the wall.
Don't you want him on your behalf, though? Don't you want him representing you? If you go onto the lion's den,
I don't want any of these monsters.
I don't need anyone representing me. I can represent myself just fine.
Oh, God.
Boom.
Bernie Sanders is enough reason to pick up a rifle.
I got a question for you. I got one question for you. Hey, can I get a list of the radio stations that you're on? Because I'm getting ready to get a C-Crane radio.
Yeah, but you got to go on the internet. So you're probably you're SOL there.
I don't want to do. I can.
How else would you get a list of something? What? Send a self-addressed stamped envelope and have us print it out for you?
I'll have my nephew do it, and then what I do is I can call in and I can listen to your program because I surely enjoyed it over the years that you were on WIBC on Saturday. I look forward to it every day, but I guess they didn't want my voice in this area. So
it was all about you, Larry. That's why we got dropped off the station. They were tired of hearing from you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks for the call, Larry.
Thanks for calling. I always enjoy your calls.
Yeah. Who would you vote for? I'm sorry. Larry, I don't need. I know you're not
You really
online,
don't take the time to cast a random libertarian vote just to say, I want more liberty? I mean, are you really afraid that this libertarian candidate you don't like is going to get elected?
No. I mean,
if they're not going to get elected, then let the world know you want more liberty.
And I do by, I don't know, doing this show and, all the other types of things that I do. What I don't need is a representative. I'm perfectly capable of representing myself. I'm a fully functioning adult person who is probably more responsible than the average bear in the world, and I certainly don't enjoy the insinuation that I should pick somebody to represent me when I'm perfectly capable of doing it of my own accord. And particularly with the advent of technology, right? We can send now, the value of human labor, human effort around the world in seconds, right? At our fingertips. But for some reason, I can't represent myself. What the hell is wrong with that? I mean, it's an obscene thing. It's a preposterous philosophy for me to think that I need to have somebody else represent me. Your calls and your thoughts.
Well, we live in a society, Captain. We live in a society.
Yeah, but we can fix that.
855-450-3733. We can fix it by voting? I don't think so.
No, probably not.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Do you feel like many of us? All the distractions in the world taking our minds and focus off what really needs to get done day to day? Well, Janess has a dietary supplement called Mind to help with mental distraction, and it supports memory function. Go to gcnlife.com now to check it out. You're only at your best when your mind is at its best. Go to gcnlife.com or call toll-free 844-443-6637. That's gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. The live on-air call-in radio show where you can talk about whatever you like. Our toll-free number, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And tonight, I am your host, the Reverend Captain Kickass, and I am joined by...
the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And Ian.
And we were talking a little bit about an article I brought in about some surveillance that takes place as a result of these personal assistants in your homes and offices, known as things like Alexa or Echo, stuff like that. We talked a little bit about voting. We had a caller call in and, basically say, oh, you guys are liberals, and blah, and of course we're not.
Oh, please don't call me a liberal.
Yeah, and I think he also called us Shirley. Like you said, surely you guys would vote for Bernie Sanders.
I wouldn't vote for Bernie Sanders, and don't call me Shirley.
That's what I'm saying. So we were talking a little bit, during
my mother's name,
during our sponsors, about voting itself. And I made the mention, and we said we'd talk about this a little bit. I made the mention about, I don't even understand when humanity decided that voting and a majority voting for one thing means that they get to force it upon the minority.
Wait, you're saying
that even
the majority
become a good idea? Like, why do people even believe this is a good idea?
You're saying the majority shouldn't rule? Then how is a gang rape ever going to happen? Because that's, the essence of democracy is gang rape. The majority gets what they want. The minority gets screwed.
You are absolutely correct. But this idea that, like, even in like a small environment, right? Like we've talked a little bit in the past about things like, locally voting, you're going to have more effect than, if you vote for like the president, for example, right? Statistically speaking, your vote for president has no effect.
Well, that's
no
true,
meaning whatsoever. But like if you, like in the city of Keene, for example, right? I may actually have an effect on the outcome of whatever is being proposed if I want it or don't want it and that kind of a thing. I understand that, right? The smaller you get, within these types of government pods, if you will, these environments, like the more likely your vote is going to have an effect. But like, why do people even believe that this is the right way to organize society?
Well, that's the way it's always been.
Yeah. Well,
that's not a reason.
Not everybody has to agree on it. Just enough people to club the rest of us into submission. But some of us will not submit.
That's what I'm saying.
And I do not, let it be known, because some people make this voting is consent nonsense argument. And let me say that, yes, I vote, and no, I do not consent to be governed.
Me too.
And
Agreed.
that my vote should not be interpreted that way. I am and have been at war with the government, and I will remain at war with the government for as long as they continue to violate my rights, which will be as long as they exist.
Right. That's how they roll.
And I realize that, this organization type isn't likely to go away in our lifetime. However, that doesn't mean I'm not going to fight against it actively for the rest of my natural life.
Well, I mean, if you want to go back to the question you'd asked of how did this get to be this way? I mean, it's been a long history of humans using violence against their fellow man, all the way back to dictators and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Go back to Sumerian times or whatever. I mean, there's always been those who want to wield power over others, and they come up with excuses, the divine right of kings, for instance, and then somebody said, well, this king thing's a terrible idea. Let's try democracy, and we'll just decide based on numbers. It's just overwhelming force who should be in charge. I mean, somebody said, well, that was a better idea. I'm not sure if it is, but that's what people bought. I mean,
and to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if, let's say there's 100 people and there's a decision to be made, and 51 people decide to go one way, and 49 people are like, no, we want to go the other way. Well, those 51 people who wanted to go the one way, they should be allowed to go that one way, but it should only impact those 51 people. The other 49 people should be allowed to go their way individually, and it should have no impact on them whatsoever.
But as long as the 49 people are willing to go along to get along, then they're screwed. If they're not willing to actually stand up for themselves. And it seems like most people aren't willing to stand up for themselves. They just do what they're told.
And the unfortunate thing is, these days, asserting your rights is suicide, because they will come and kill you.
Yes, they will.
But, and that's the vote that I want to cast, is I want to pick up a rifle along with 300 million of my countrymen. Because what people don't understand is that and you don't have to shoot anybody, but if 150 million people stood up, got rifles, and went out in the streets with their rifles, who would stop them? Who would say, come pay your taxes?
I agree.
When there's that many people out in the street with rifles.
You don't need 150 million of them. In fact, you probably will never have that many. I mean, if you had 10 million,
well, that
you'd
would
have
be half the population.
I know, and it's unrealistic.
Well, you only need roughly 10% to make an impact like that.
If you had 10 to 30 million, you'd have a heck of a lot. But I mean, even in recently in Richmond, Virginia, you had 22,000 people show up to the state capitol, many of whom were armed to the teeth. But I guarantee you, all those people are going to pay their taxes at the end of the year.
Well, they may pay their taxes, but those people are not necessarily convinced that taxation is theft, and we need to fix that. So, they're not going to stand up against things they don't see as injustice. So what we need to do somehow is educate them that there's more to injustice than taking your guns. There's also taking your money, forcing you to pay for people to be murdered all over the world. So it's insane.
To our listeners, I would just like to say, if you want Trump to be your leader, then far out, solid, right on. I'm not going to stop you. Let him
tell you what to do.
Be your leader and tell you what to do. You do not, however, have the right for Trump to tell me what to do and how to behave and how to live my life. The same thing goes for insert political candidate.
But he's still your president.
You were born into a society, Captain Kickass.
If you want Bernie frickin' Sanders to lead your life, far out, solid, and right on, go ahead and follow Bernie
Captain
Sanders.
Kickass, government is the price we pay to have a civilized society.
Government is the indication that we don't have a civilized society, because the existence of government implies that some people are permitted to do whatever they want to other people.
All of the most serious, heinous, and largest atrocities in all of human history have all been committed by the organization type known as government.
Yep, man, that's true.
Yeah. The Holocaust, the Holodomor, the Great Leap Forward, the killing fields of Cambodia. I can sit and list these things all day, and I can't even begin to plumb the depths of how many of these things have happened. Not to mention
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Indeed.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Dresden, even the firebombing of Dresden. These people want to buy back our guns, and these people don't pass a background check. These people are psychopaths. These people are the biggest mass murderers in history, and they're telling you you're too scary to own a gun. Well, how many people have you killed?
Yeah, I don't understand. These people are not, in my mind, these politicians are not leaders, right?
Not my leaders.
I certainly, leaders. If I want, to learn something or, I don't know, change a profession or something, I'll go find somebody who's good at what they do, right? And I will go and, become some sort of an apprentice or get a job, an entry-level job at their company or whatever, and, learn from a, quote, authority of a different kind, an authority with experience in doing what they do and doing it well. None of these politicians are experienced in anything except lying.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't think of any there's many professions where I'll frequently say to myself, I wish I knew a doctor that I could call on the phone and ask him this question, or I wish I knew a lawyer even to call on the phone, or a hardware engineer, or a physicist, or anything. I have never said to myself, I wish I knew a politician so I could call him on the phone and ask him something, because they have no useful information except how to get the guns and clubs of government to club the people that they want clubbed.
Amen.
Well, real leaders lead by example.
Yeah, this is a fact. All right. 855 450 free like freedom. Do you need a leader? If so, how do you select one intelligently? Or do you just sit back and allow the TV to tell you who your leader should be? Give us your calls, your thoughts. 855 450 free like freedom. That's 855 450 3733. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,581. Silver at $17.75. and Bitcoin is trading around $9,634. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the United Nations and humanitarian aid groups condemned the U.S.-backed Saudi-led coalition for carrying out airstrikes Saturday that killed 31 civilians and wounded dozens more, including women and children, in Yemen. Xavier Joubert, director of aid group Save the Children Yemen, demanded an investigation into the airstrikes and said nations providing the weaponry for such attacks must share the blame. The Mind Unleashed reports the United States is the largest supplier of weapons to the Saudi regime, whose years-long assault on Yemen has helped create the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The Saudi airstrikes came after Houthi rebels claimed to have shot down a Saudi Tornado jet Friday. Following its bombing campaign on Saturday, the Saudi-led coalition issued a statement acknowledging the possibility of collateral damage, a common euphemism for civilian deaths. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The worst of the numerous anti-gun legislations in Virginia, the so-called assault weapons ban, was shot down Monday morning by the Senate Judiciary Committee, killing any chance of the bill becoming law this year. Activist Post reports the most recent election saw Virginia turn blue through rezoning, and a whole lot of money donated by none other than presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg. It's so blatant that even the Washington Examiner referred to the bill as Bloomberg's gun ban. Virginians protested the outrageous spate of laws by a variety of means, turning nearly the entire state into Second Amendment sanctuaries, municipality by municipality, with one county going so far as to form an official militia to preserve gun rights. Tens of thousands of gun owners showed up to protest at the Capitol on Lobby Day, a protest that was overwhelmingly peaceful, despite the governor's attempt to paint the protesters as violent white supremacists. Global economic conditions are really starting to deteriorate rapidly. Economists were projecting that Japan's GDP would shrink by 3.8% on an annualized basis in the fourth quarter, but instead it greatly surpassed expectations by plunging 6.3%. Activist Post reports that if Japan's GDP falls again during the first quarter of 2020, and thanks to the coronavirus outbreak that seems very likely, then the world's third largest economy will officially be in a recession. But the outlook for China is even worse. At this point, economic activity in China has come to a standstill, and this has thrown global supply chains into a state of chaos. It certainly appears that the entire global economy will shrink during the first quarter, and that will be the very first time that has happened in more than a decade. And if the coronavirus outbreak continues to intensify in the months ahead, the economic consequences are going to be absolutely catastrophic. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The zebra of the plains is perpetually hunted by a myriad of merciless predators. With no purpose other than to feed monsters, the zebra spends its entire life standing around awaiting a violent death. They are nature's ultimate prey. The zebra paces the earth, patiently going through the motions of life, knowing that at any moment it will end in a sudden shock of pain and brutality. With its black and white stripes serving as an ostentatious beacon to any nearby predators, the zebra whiles away its time before gruesome elimination. Zebra wait on the pantry shelf that is the African plain before something finds it and, at last, remembers to eat it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We are a live call-in show. Give us a call. Tell us your thoughts. Do you think you need a leader? If so, is voting the right way to go about it? It's an interesting question.
If you need a leader, just pick one.
Yep.
You don't have to, get into some ridiculous system.
We've been talking a lot about that. We've been talking about politicians. We've been talking about technology, things that might be surveilling you without your knowledge or consent, all sorts of stuff. And with you tonight, of course, it's myself, the captain.
The nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And it's Ian.
Ian, did you say that you had sort of a follow-on article regarding
technology? We were
technology?
talking about privacy and, keeping yourself safe from being monitored. Well, turns out you just can't really trust any of those companies out there that say they're going to keep you safe.
Oh, really?
Hushmail, at the very least, has now been revealed to have spilled information to the feds, according to Wired.com. Hushmail.com, a longtime provider of supposedly encrypted web-based email, markets itself by saying that, quote, not even a Hushmail employee with access to our servers can read your encrypted email, since each message is uniquely encoded before it leaves your computer, unquote.
Wrong.
But the feds can?
But it turns out that statement seems not to apply to individuals targeted by government agencies that are able to convince a Canadian court to serve a court order on the company. A September court document from a federal prosecution of alleged steroid dealers reveals the Canadian company turned over 12 CDs worth of emails from 3 Hushmail accounts, following a court order obtained through a mutual assistance treaty between the United States and Canada. The charging document alleges that many Chinese wholesale steroid chemical providers, underground laboratories, and steroid retailers do business over Hushmail.
Okay, wait. So I thought the whole point of these encrypted email companies was that, you send the message, the receiver receives the message, and then the message goes away.
If
is deleted.
If you're doing business with an American or a Canadian corporation, and that American or Canadian corporation does not obey the government, it will disappear off the face of the earth. And that's why you can't trust any of these corporations that operate openly. They will cease to exist. And just about any businessman is going to say any hit to our reputation is better than not existing as a company anymore and losing my entire investment.
The court revelation demonstrates a privacy risk in a relatively new simple webmail offering by Hushmail, which the company acknowledges is less secure than its signature product. A subsequent and refreshingly frank email interview with Hushmail's CTO seems to indicate that government agencies can also order their way into individual accounts on Hushmail's ultra-secure web-based email service.
Can we still say ultra-secure in that context when it's not secure at all?
That's what they're claiming, which relies on a browser-based Java encryption engine. Since its debut in 1999, so they've been around for more than 20 years now, Hushmail has dominated a unique market niche for highly secure webmail with its innovative client-side encryption engine. Hushmail uses industry-standard cryptographic and encryption protocols to scramble the contents of messages stored on their servers. They also host the public key needed for other people using encrypted email services to send secure messages to a Hushmail account. The first time their user logs on, his browser downloads a Java applet that takes care of the decryption and encryption of messages on his computer after the user types in the correct passphrase. So messages reach Hushmail's server already encrypted. The Java code also decrypts the message on the recipient's computer, so an unencrypted copy never crosses the internet or hits Hushmail's servers.
So then how does Hush download however many CDs they gave to the feds with this information?
We're going to get to that. In this scenario, if a law enforcement agency demands all the emails sent to or from an account, Hushmail can only turn over the scrambled messages since it has no way of reversing the encryption. However, installing Java and loading and running the Java applet can be annoying. So in 2006, Hushmail began offering a service more akin to traditional webmail. Users connect to the service via SSL connection, and Hushmail runs the encryption engine on their side. Users then tell the server-side engine what the right passphrase is, and all the messages in the account can then be read as they would in any other web-based email account.
Hushmail's a bunch of frickin' morons.
And don't let the not using the webmail interface give you a false sense of security if you're using Hushmail, because if they can easily backdoor
the
Java applet and
right.
turn it off or change its operation for specific users.
And you wouldn't know.
And if they're willing to violate their own webmail, then they're willing to violate your privacy.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what they tell you about. We can't get it because it was encrypted with our software that we control.
Yeah,
good luck with that. There's a big hole in that statement.
What does this mean for the other encrypted providers? Are they all doing the same thing?
If a government gang shows up with a bunch of guns and says we need to get into Captain Kickass's encrypted account, then they can do exactly what nobody's suggesting here and
I understand they're going to
comply.
code. I'm just talking from like a technology perspective because they market these things as such.
And any of them can. The only way to avoid it is to be using
PGP.
Something like PGP
on your own computer.
You control your software. If somebody else's, and that doesn't mean an applet on your phone, because guess what? If the feds ask them to, Google can send you a completely different version of any app that anybody else gets, which is just a wrapper with a backdoor. Very easy for them. It would be no problem. And there's none of these people are going to stand up to the government when it counts.
Yeah, it's not worth it for your $20 a month or quarter or however much you're paying for their service to them. They're going to sell you down the river.
Exactly.
The rub of the option here, according to Wired, is that Hushmail has, even if only for a brief moment, a copy of your passphrase. So again, they're talking about the web version of the app, which is all done on their server side. As they disclose in the technical comparison of the two options, this means that an attacker with access to Hushmail servers or Hushmail themselves can get at the passphrase and thus all of the messages. In the case of
once they've got the passphrase, it doesn't matter whether you use the webmail interface with other messages because they own the keys to your kingdom.
In the case of the alleged steroid dealer, the feds seem to compel Hushmail to exploit this hole, store the suspect's secret passphrase or decryption key, decrypt their messages, and hand them over. Hushmail's CTO, Brian Smith, surprise, declined to talk about any specific law enforcement requests.
I'd be ashamed too.
But described the general vulnerability to threat level in an email interview, which they then include some excerpts from that.
It's amazing to me.
Hushmail.
It's amazing to me how docile and compliant people are. What you're reading to me sounds exactly like a conversation I had at a movie theater that serves beer in Seattle called Cinnabar, Cinnebarre. I went in to see a movie. I lived 4 blocks away from this place. I walked over there. I went to see a movie, a matinee, a day off on like a Thursday or whatever. So it's like a 3 o'clock showing or whatever, 2 o'clock even. I ordered a pitcher of beer. Right now, for the listeners who are watching us
Just
on the
for
camera,
you.
I'm a big dude.
Yep.
I can drink a pitcher of beer, no problem. I'm from Wisconsin. I've been drinking since 1982 or so.
You're a rocker, man. You're in a metal band.
I'm a rock star, right? And I walked, right? Plus, they serve food, right? So I was ordering food, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll have a pitcher of your Scotch ale or whatever," because they have a delicious Scotch ale made by a local brewery. Mm-hmm. And I had done this before
at the same place,
without any sort of a trouble. This particular wait person was like, "No, I'm not gonna serve you a pitcher." And I talked to the McManager.
Well,
they had the same reaction that this guy's having. Well, a policeman came in and just told me that we're not supposed to. Yeah. He didn't even look up the law. There is no law that says you can't serve a pitcher to one guy. So.
But they can be prosecuted. Do you want to put your freedom on a line for a $5 tip?
855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Is there any privacy left in the world?
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. You are in the right place. As they say in the CB radio business, keep your ears on.
Yeah, Breaker 19, need a radio check.
Breaker 19 for a commercial beaver. Oh, wait, that's a different subject.
Did you say a commercial beaver?
Commercial beaver, yeah. That was.
Is there a commercial beaver in Keene?
I don't know. You would have to get yourself a CB radio and do some
I don't think
breakering.
you can find beaver that way anymore.
Wow.
855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. We've been talking about...
You don't want a lot lizard anyway.
A lot lizard, that's the other one, right? Yeah. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. And I believe, Ian, you were in mid-article.
Well, there's a little bit more, but it's mostly just excerpts from the email of the CTO from Hushmail, who's sort of sliming around on his explanation of how, we wouldn't accept a request to decrypt everyone's emails. Just it has to be a specific user.
It's only if the government tells you to.
Right.
So it's. Where is there a bigger villain in the world than the government? You are now exposed to the biggest and most dangerous threat to any of us. And I say, rip Hushmail. If you've got Hushmail, quit paying them.
Yep.
Sue them for your money back because they're in breach of contract. They were there to give you confidence, make you comfortable, and there's no your peace of mind is gone.
It's
now.
not worth suing them. Odds are good if you open up their terms of service. There's probably some line in there about cooperating with law enforcement. That's my guess.
Wow.
Because there's another part of the story here from Wired.com says, can the feds force, this is exactly what we were speculating about, can the feds force Hushmail to modify the Java applet sent to a particular user, which could then capture and send the user's passphrase to Hushmail, then to the government? Hushmail's own threat matrix includes this possibility, saying that if an attacker got into Hushmail's servers, they could compromise an account, but that, quote, evidence of the attack, unquote, presumably the rogue Java applet, could be found on the user's computer. And again, not just an attacker, but Hushmail themselves could place that on your computer, and the average user would have no way of being able to detect the change. They would have no idea that they had been compromised by the very company that they had put their trust into. So the answer here is you really can't trust any of these people. If they are a commercial entity, then they're going to do what they're told to do by the government. In most cases.
Get your very own Linux box, host your own mail, and use PGP. That is the only secure solution that I know of.
I would say that, now I'm not a security expert, but I would say even if you're not doing your own hosting, because that's probably out of the reach of the average user as far as hosting their own mail servers. Your typical user isn't going to be able to accomplish that. But figuring out and using PGP is within, I would say, an intermediate computer user's ability. You can download GPG or whatever version of PGP we're talking about. You can use that to encrypt your email. The most important, if you're just writing something that's not that important, probably don't want to spend the time, because it does take more time to encrypt and decrypt with PGP. Although there's an argument that you should encrypt everything, that way they don't know what's important and what's not.
That's what cryptographers say, is encrypt your shopping list. Encrypt everything you have, because then if they get your device, they don't have to decrypt. if there's only one encrypted file on your device, they know what you don't want them to know.
Right.
You've given them half the battle. If every file on your device is encrypted, then they have to decrypt all of them, and on average, they'll have to decrypt 50% of them before they find the thing you don't want them to have.
An actual excerpt here from their CTO. He says, Hushmail is useful for avoiding general carnivore-type government surveillance and protecting your data from hackers, but definitely not suitable for protecting your data if you're engaging in illegal activity that could result in a Canadian court order.
Or political activity that the government doesn't like, because don't tell me they won't spy on people for political reasons. They did it to Donald Trump.
Well, plus there's plenty of things that are illegal in Canada that aren't necessarily illegal, here, for instance.
Yeah.
That's also backed up by the fact that all Hushmail users agree to our terms of service, says the CTO, which state that Hushmail is not to be used for illegal activity. However, when using Hushmail, users can be assured that no access to data, including server logs, etc., will be granted without a specific court order. So there is no privacy.
That's the Hushmail.
Yeah, there's no privacy. There probably never was with these people.
And way to kill your business proposition, too.
Well, that's the thing, is I hope this word gets spread far and wide, and I say end Hushmail, just on general principle.
Right.
If you have a Hushmail account, even if you're not afraid of this,
Close
it
it down.
down, because they need to cease to exist and stop lying.
Well, they're not lying. I mean, I don't know what they say on their marketing,
but they lie in the big print, and then they take it away in the small print.
Yeah.
And a lie is still a lie if we're going to do this in the small print. No, we're not going to do this. That would not be acceptable to me in a face-to-face dealing with a person.
With you. Yeah,
So
I mean, I've never read their
Be
marketing.
acceptable with Hushmail.
Yeah, I don't know what their marketing says, but this guy is just coming straight out and saying, yeah, we'll do whatever the government says. So.
Yeah.
All right. Segue. I realized that today is a banking holiday.
Yeah.
I was going to do some banking activities today, and I was reminded by the fact that they're not open that today is a federal holiday.
Yeah.
It is known as President's Day, which annoys me.
That should be abolished.
And that's the annoying thing about cartels is every member of the cartel does the same thing. So you don't have like one bank that you can go to on President's Day. They have to all shut down.
Right. It's the same thing with schools. It's like, why don't, innovation in school hasn't really happened, like, as far as, like, the school schedule. Like, you would think that more schools would operate between the hours of 8 and 5, like the traditional workday. But no, it's like, 9 until 3, and inconveniencing parents and interrupting businesses and all that kind of stuff because you can't innovate, right?
Wouldn't it be nice if you could choose your own school, something that had the policies you wanted?
Yeah, or even the hours that you wanted, right? That worked with your schedule.
That's a policy.
Right?
Yeah, I got to say one thing. I mean, by no means am I a huge fan of TD Bank, but I remember that they used to be open almost every day. In fact, TD Bank was open today.
Really?
Yeah.
So I am impressed.
I give them that credit. I
would be impressed if they hadn't inconvenienced me and jacked my money for a month.
Yeah.
When you
not
say
a fan of a lot
open
of
today,
this stuff.
do you mean that they had some call center representatives available to
No,
open
you could go to a
ticket
branch.
for you?
They had branches open.
So, like, all regular business was being conducted?
Well, you can't send a wire transfer on a banking holiday,
Right,
but
right.
you
I
can go and
understand that.
deposit or whatever.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah,
loan,
also they're
loan
open
activity,
on
brokerage, all that stuff?
They're open on Columbus Day and Veterans Day. However, they are closed on other holidays.
Right. So I happened upon an article talking about presidents. This is sort of a backlash article. And it's titled, it's from Reason.com. It's titled, "Instead of removing Trump from power, remove power from the presidency."
Yes!
And so that was an intriguing headline that we'll get around to. And we'll get around to your calls and thoughts as well. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. More coming up tonight on Free Talk Live.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend to spectacular debates. Is government necessary? And does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
If you're looking for work, or even if you're not, here's an innocent mistake you really want to avoid. Never return calls before listening to your voicemail. Your wireless phone sends calls you didn't answer into voicemail, and it shows you phone numbers for calls you missed. Important, don't call back callers you missed until you have first listened to your messages. Otherwise, you frustrate people who bothered to leave messages by asking them to repeat a message they just left as your voicemail greeting instructed them to. If you're a job applicant, this alone could be a deal killer. And even if you're not, there are few things you can convey to someone that are as fundamentally maddening as, "I didn't hear you." With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live.
Do you think it's a respectable job to go around and threaten people over parking somewhere?
You're intentionally misrepresenting what a parking attendant does.
What do they do?
I don't think they threaten people in that manner. They write tickets.
What do you think a ticket is?
Annoying.
The ticket's a threat.
This is why I think you come off so bad in those videos. This is not how people act in the real world. It's very unusual.
The parking enforcers are issuing threats, and that's what a ticket is. If you don't pay the ticket, there's a consequence behind that. They'll tow your car. In some cases, they'll boot your car. It depends on what city. The people that work downtown, a lot of them loved the Robin Hooders because the Robin Hooders would regularly save. These are the people who are putting change in expired parking meters downtown. They would regularly save downtown denizens, people who are working or living downtown, from getting multiple parking tickets every month.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. The radio talk show where you can call in and talk about whatever you like. The toll-free number here, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And with you tonight, I am your host, the Reverend Captain Kickass, and I'm joined by...
Nobody.
And Ian.
And I want to tell you about Divvy. Divvy is the next generation wallet that is coming soon. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divi network. When the new Divi wallet launches, because of Divi's relationship with Western Union, Divi will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at diviproject.org. That's diviproject.org. All right, so before we went to our sponsors, I had teased this article from Reason about the headline simply reads, "Instead of removing Trump from power, remove power from the presidency." And this headline caught
Can we just remove the government instead?
Well, right. I mean,
well, that is removing power from the presidency. It's
I don't
just
know if that's what they're going to say
taking
here.
it to its logical conclusion.
Yeah. But this article caught my attention, and I brought it in, today because, I was reminded that today is President's Day because of the lack of banking activities allowed this day. But we'll get more into that and talk about that. First, let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We have Eric from Columbia, South Carolina. Eric, you're live on Free Talk Live.
Hey, y'all. I hope everybody's having a good President's Day. Thank you for reminding me about that. I didn't see the news today. Do y'all know if the president saw a shadow?
To what, Mark? Another year of insanity?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do not know. I do not know.
Okay, well, maybe some of the other listeners will know, and they can call in and let me know.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe. Did you have any other thoughts,
right.
Eric?
No, that's it. Great. Thanks, y'all.
All right, thanks for the call. Yeah.
That's cute.
I mean, Trump is kind of orange. He hasn't turned quite brown yet, so I don't know if he can be equated to the groundhog. Although I think Punxsutawney Phil might be insulted by me comparing him to the orange Cheeto.
Apparently, Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow this year, which means an early spring.
Did you say Nazi?
He did not see.
I did not see that coming.
Neither did I. Neither did I. Let's go to more of your calls and your thoughts. We have Larry from Indianapolis. Again, Larry, what's on your mind?
Hi, that's my other brother, Larry.
Got to talk right into your phone, man.
Yep.
Barely hear you.
That's my other brother, Larry.
There you go.
Okay. What's on your mind, other brother Larry?
What's this I hear about Rich Paul? I mean, nobody being at war with the government. How come they haven't come and killed him yet?
Well, I'm waiting. They probably have people they want to kill first. I'm not that big a guy. I don't have that big a following. I'm sure that, they've got people to murder in the Middle East. They've got people to murder all over the country, and they're murdering them just as fast as they can. They'll get to me sooner or later.
Nobody's going to come and kill you. That's sure.
I'm not going to do it.
Just ask, what is this? Are you murdering people in the Middle East? Who are they murdering?
Whoever happens to be under their bombs. They murder children at weddings. They murder people all over the place. They're supporting a genocide against the Yemeni by the Saudi Arabians, one of our allies, one of the most evil governments on earth. We send them money so they can massacre the Yemeni. We're sponsoring
I'm not doing
the
any
genocide
of
the Palestinians.
Not me. Not doing it.
Well, your money is being stolen and doing it because you pay a higher price every time you buy something from somebody who pays taxes. And where does that money go?
Fine.
That money goes to the slaughter of innocents all over the world.
You believe that kind of stupid fiat because you hang around with stupid people who never engage you with a cognitive dissonance, as in the truth.
Are you
nobody? I mean, Rich Paul. You are nobody loser that you rail against.
Retard alert! Not interested in hearing from you particularly, but
I gotta give him I gotta give him a hand for the accent. I mean, he's trying something different here. He's trying to do like text.
But if he wants to be interesting, he's going to have to stop being an idiot. You can't hold somebody's interest with stupidity forever.
I'm sorry, what was that? Not Larry?
You just said a bunch of Sunni, not Shiite stuff. Rich Paul, and I can certainly be interesting if you allow me to respond to all that stupid Shiite you just said about the government murdering people in the Middle East and genocide against the Palestinians.
Are you saying there are no wars
doing
going on in the Middle East, moron?
Moron. Call me Moron. That's much more.
Is that your rap name? Moron? M-O''Ron?
You can call me Moron anytime you want, as long as I have the last word. But you ain't got the balls or the brains to allow me to have the last word.
I do have something. I do have something, James. You know what I have?
I've got balls of steel.
You call me James now. How's Jack Edgington doing, by the way?
Oh, man, it was going so well. It was going so well.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
He asked, "How is Jack Edgington doing?"
All right. Thanks for the call, James.
You can't go talking about people's children on the air.
That might have been the most creative call he's
I gotta
ever
hand it.
had.
He sounded like he was relatively lucid. He kind of kept the accent going.
I still basically hate the guy. But
hate only hurts the hater.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't hate him. He just doesn't interest me because he is
basic hate is a little
hate.
different than like real hate.
He got you to respond to him this time, though.
Yeah, kind of. I wasn't sure it was him at first.
Right. He changed it up a little bit. I'll give him credit.
All right. So, at any rate, it is President's Day, and this article from Reason is titled, "Instead of removing Trump from power, remove power from the presidency." And yes, I mean, I'm all for that. It leads in with, after Watergate, Democrats rolled back executive power. Under Trump, they just want to be the ones who get to wield it. Now that Democrats have failed in their attempt to remove the president from power, it's worth asking why they haven't seriously considered the reverse, removing power from the president. I'm all for this.
Here's why they won't consider it, because they know their turn's coming.
Yeah.
We have seen over the 33 months since Donald Trump took the unusual step of firing FBI Director James B. Comey and any number of behavior-specific explanations for why the 45th president must go, for coordinating with the Kremlin, obstructing the Russia investigation, making racist comments about 4 congresswomen, saying he would accept dirt from foreign governments about his domestic political opponents, and finally the House's 2 impeachment articles, abuse of power and the obstruction of Congress. To be fair, the other side would also accept all of that against their opponents.
Yeah. And when you think about it, it would be kind of weird if they didn't. I mean, what cop is going to say, I won't take evidence if it comes from a criminal?
Right.
You take the tips where they come from.
But what we have not seen is anything like a structural critique of ever accumulating executive branch power itself. Well, yes, actually, we have. Libertarians have been making that critique, and anarchists as well for, well, I mean, as long as that type of philosophy's been around. Democrats don't like the way Trump uses his authority, but that doesn't mean they want any less of the stuff in the White House, particularly when they get back the keys.
Exactly.
To the contrary.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened with the last presidents, right? You went from Clinton to Bush to Obama, and every one of them built off the power that was aggregated to the presidency by their predecessors. They love it.
It's not 2 parties. It's one big party at your expense.
Yeah. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. 855, 450 free, like freedom. More coming up after this. This is Free Talk Live.
I'm here with Scott Useum, founder of OMG Tax. Tell us how your company helps our listeners out there who have a problem with the IRS.
My team of lawyers, enrolled agents, and licensed tax experts remove wage garnishments sometimes in the same day. We even have reduced the total debt some of our clients were required to pay through what is known as an offer in compromise.
Can you give us an example of somebody you help?
Oh, can I ever? We have taken a $500,000 liability with the IRS. Guess what? The client didn't pay a dime through the representation known as non-collectible status with the government.
If you owe the IRS more than $10,000 and you want to see if it's possible to pay a lot less, call OMG Tax right now for a free tax-saving consultation.
Call 800-486-8112. 800-486-8112. 800-486-8112. That's 800-486-8112.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Maybe.
No way.
Within reason.
Oh, man.
Yes, this is Old Talk Live. I'm just kidding. It's Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. I believe I'm here tonight. I'm the captain, and I'm joined by...
Nobody.
And Ian, we just were informed by Chris Wade, our Friday night host, who is apparently listening.
Wait. Is this? Are we going to issue a retraction?
No.
It's not a retraction. It's everything we said was true. It was just we should have told you sooner.
I didn't know that the Hushmail story is 13 years old.
Previously on Battlestar Galactica.
It came out in 2007, so we were informing you about all the bad news about Hushmail. Odds are the same case is true today. I mean, if they were obedient to the state in 2007, they are still just as obedient to the state today. And the bad news is it didn't put them out of business. They still exist. So whatever the press coverage that they received from this, which again was from Wired magazine, talking about how they're just going to roll over and give up your info to the feds. All they got to do is give them the paperwork, the warrant or whatever, and they'll sell you down the river. Didn't put them out of business. They're still there.
And speaking of previously on, I've invented a character who knows everything about reruns. And his name, you already know it. Everybody knows it. It's Previous Leon. Previous Leon.
That's cute.
Previously.
Yeah, so if you're a buff of all of the reruns of television shows and you're looking for some sort of a nickname, a moniker, if you will, go ahead, use it. Previous Leon. I'd love to talk to you. At any rate, we were talking about this article from Reason that because it's President's Day, the headline said, instead of removing Trump from power, remove power from the presidency. And, of course, it's a reactionary article to the fact that...
why not both?
That, the left failed in, removing Trump from power and all that kind of thing. And we'll tell you more about that. But first, I wanted to tell you about First Consultants. Are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt? Tom Young, the author and founder of the CFO Project, can show you how to be debt-free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending a single dollar more. With the current state of the federal debt at $23 trillion and the unfunded liabilities at $127 trillion, you can't wait to take control of your money. Don't let your retirement savings be used to bail out the government. Instead of building a plan, Tom can show you how to create strategies now to save money without penalties and as little government involvement as possible. His new book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project, will show you exactly how to build wealth and eliminate debt at the same time. Get your free copy now at cfo-project.com. Invest in yourself and your family today. Get your free copy of The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project at cfo-project.com.
A little bit of extra good news about the Hushmail situation is when you Google Hushmail, and I did it in a private window just to make sure it wasn't like my own results that were tainting it. The second result is the Wired article. So the first result is Hushmail itself, and then the second result is encrypted email company Hushmail spills to Fed. So at the very least, that story is getting some relevance.
Yeah, I mean, well,
snitches get ditches.
I do find that sometimes a story will come out and it doesn't get the play that it deserves, right? It's a good story. It's well written, by, maybe a reputable publisher and that kind of a thing. And it'll come back around a few years later and be relevant again for some reason. So,
and it's good to report on old stories because people should know that, for example, the government is lying about Kennedy. I don't know what really happened. I don't claim to know what really happened, but are they lying? Absolutely. They're lying about 9/11. There's two old stories. A lot of people don't know them.
So this article goes on to talk about it's worth asking why they haven't seriously considered removing power from the president. And I've been asking that for, well over a decade now, if not 12 years or so.
They don't want to.
We have seen over the 33 months since Donald Trump took the unusual step of firing the... Oh, did I already read this? Behavior
you did read some of it. I don't know how much.
Blah, 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 blah. But what we have not seen is anything like a structural critique of the ever-accumulating executive branch power itself. Democrats don't like the way Trump uses his authority, but that doesn't mean they want any less of the stuff in the White House, particularly when they get back the keys.
Yeah.
Well, they might not be able to do the same things that Trump does, once they have the power to do it. And they don't have a problem with any of the things that Trump does. They did all those things themselves.
Sure.
They just want to be the people doing it, and they're butthurt that they're not.
Oh, they're making a show of it so they can pander to their voters and hopefully take the power back and then do the exact same thing to the other team.
Yeah, in his response to Trump's State of the Union address, leading presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders lamented that the tariff-happy president wasn't being punitive enough toward American companies. The NAFTA
Okay, let me
2.0
stop
deal.
you right there and just take a moment to say thank you, Bernie, for arguing for free trade. You're a better capitalist than Donald Trump, and back to you.
The NAFTA 2.0 deal that he recently signed, Sanders said, will not prevent a single corporation from shutting down factories in the United States and moving them to Mexico. In her official Democratic Party response, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer focused not on Trump's Trump's monarchical gestures during the speech. Nice word, monarchical. I like that. During the speech, granting a scholarship, promoting a veteran, presenting a Medal of Honor on the spot, theatrically reuniting a military family, but rather on all the things Democratic governors are accomplishing by executive fiat in defense of their legislators. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers unilaterally increased school funding by $65 million last year. Whitmer bragged. The Democratic presidential field, with the notable exception of faltering frontrunner Joe pedophile Biden, has been engaging in a race to see who can make the most elaborate promises of immediate executive action. Forget 100 days. We're not talking 100 hours. To see what the magical Oval Office.
What does that mean? 100 days, 100
do.
hours?
100 days is traditionally one of the things that presidents have done is say, I'm going to do this in my first 100 days.
Okay.
So they're going to blow through taking a bunch of our rights in 100 hours because that's what it's going to come down to.
Right. They're just speeding up the tyranny.
We're serious this time.
This time it'll be different.
Mm-hmm. There's no tyranny like fast tyranny. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
It's so like I swear if there were counselors for abused women or battered spouses or whatever.
They have those, yeah.
Yeah. If they were just, reading stuff on politicians, they'd be like, what do you mean? They told you it's going to be different this time and you believe them?
Yeah. I do it because I love you.
And I love that they're supporting Bloomberg. Now, Bloomberg is the first notable thing about Bloomberg is he's almost completely indistinguishable from Trump. The only difference is he's a very enthusiastic and honest gun grabber, whereas Trump is a dishonest gun grabber. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I think I'd rather have Bloomberg in office. And the reason I'd rather have Bloomberg in office is then the people with the guns would hate the government again. But the thing is, I'm listening to these Democrats who are watching Bloomberg basically buy the election. And they're cheering it. The same get money out of politics here hypocrites who have been saying this for all these years, are now saying he can bring more money to bear than Trump. And isn't it great? Uh-huh. Isn't it great? Sure, he's a monster, but he's our monster.
This
stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk.
Yeah, these last two examples, and then this next paragraph. Just literally read like a list of lies that somebody would tell to get into the presidency, right? On day one, President Elizabeth Warren would wipe out student loans for 42 billion people, ban fracking, quote, everywhere, unquote.
Wipe them out how? Is she going to screw the banks or is she going to pay the banks? I'll bet she's going to pay them.
Yeah. And block any future fossil fuel leases on public lands and offshore.
Drive the price of oil up. That's what we need.
We are still awaiting the full day one list from a future President Sanders, but we know it includes an executive order to, quote, legalize marijuana in every state in this country.
Wow. Again, interestingly, Bernie Sanders is the only one saying anything pro-liberty.
I thought that wasn't that Warren?
No, they are waiting for President Sanders to include that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
855 450 free, like freedom. Bernie Sanders did say, if he becomes president, he'll legalize marijuana in every state immediately, or something along those lines.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,581, silver at $17.75, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,634. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the United Nations and humanitarian aid groups condemned the U.S.-backed Saudi-led coalition for carrying out airstrikes Saturday that killed 31 civilians and wounded dozens more, including women and children, in Yemen. Xavier Joubert, director of aid group Save the Children Yemen, demanded an investigation into the airstrikes and said nations providing the weaponry for such attacks must share the blame. The Mind Unleashed reports the United States is the largest supplier of weapons to the Saudi regime, whose years-long assault on Yemen has helped create the world's worst humanitarian crisis. The Saudi airstrikes came after Houthi rebels claimed to have shot down a Saudi Tornado jet Friday. Following its bombing campaign on Saturday, the Saudi-led coalition issued a statement acknowledging the possibility of collateral damage, a common euphemism for civilian deaths. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait. Just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The worst of the numerous anti-gun legislations in Virginia, the so-called assault weapons ban, was shot down Monday morning by the Senate Judiciary Committee, killing any chance of the bill becoming law this year. Activist Post reports the most recent election saw Virginia turn blue through rezoning, and a whole lot of money donated by none other than presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg. It's so blatant that even the Washington Examiner referred to the bill as Bloomberg's gun ban. Virginians protested the outrageous spate of laws by a variety of means, turning nearly the entire state into Second Amendment sanctuaries, municipality by municipality, with one county going so far as to form an official militia to preserve gun rights. Tens of thousands of gun owners showed up to protest at the Capitol on Lobby Day, a protest that was overwhelmingly peaceful, despite the governor's attempt to paint the protesters as violent white supremacists. Global economic conditions are really starting to deteriorate rapidly. Economists were projecting that Japan's GDP would shrink by 3.8% on an annualized basis in the fourth quarter, but instead it greatly surpassed expectations by plunging 6.3%. Activist Post reports that if Japan's GDP falls again during the first quarter of 2020, and thanks to the coronavirus outbreak, this seems very likely, Then the world's third largest economy will officially be in a recession. But the outlook for China is even worse. At this point, economic activity in China has come to a standstill, and this has thrown global supply chains into a state of chaos. It certainly appears that the entire global economy will shrink during the first quarter, and that will be the very first time that has happened in more than a decade. And if the coronavirus outbreak continues to intensify in the months ahead, the economic consequences are going to be absolutely catastrophic. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
On May 22, 1992, beloved talk show host Johnny Carson ended his 30-year run of hosting The Tonight Show with a farewell episode that included special guests Saddam Hussein, KKK Grand Wizard Virgil E. Griffin, and a musical performance by the Flag. On May 24, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge opened, providing New Yorkers with a more efficient way of killing themselves and escaping their trash-ridden excrement-cake city. The monument's historic opening was marked by hundreds of people jumping 275 feet to their deaths in order to avoid waking up every morning with the smell of horse filling their nostrils.
Before the Brooklyn Bridge, there were very few ways for New Yorkers to free themselves from the cesspool in which they lived. One method was to tie cinder blocks on their legs and walk into the Hudson River. But of course, the banks of the Hudson were so brimming with garbage and raw sewage that the putrid stench would drive back even the most desperate suicide seeker.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And it is the live, what day is it? Monday? Monday edition.
Yes.
Right, it's a banker's holiday, President's Day, if you will. And I am your host. I am the Reverend Captain Kickass.
The worst holiday possible.
I'm joined by...
Nobody.
And Ian.
All right. The worst holiday possible?
Yeah, all about presidents?
It's a celebration of evil.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's like a worse holiday.
It's one of the worst.
You know?
There's also the military holidays as well, which are pretty bad.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, Memorial Day, I don't have a problem with. We should remember all the people who have been killed and all the people they killed.
Amen to that. Agreed. We should. Although, I don't know, like, shouldn't we just remember them, on our own terms? Does there need to be a national,
day?
A holiday, where everybody, shuts down? I don't know. When did that concept even, Holy Day, I guess, right, is where it came from, right?
Yeah.
Again,
well,
more evidence to prove my theory.
The state's a religion, right?
Again, more evidence to prove my theory that the state is a religion.
Mm-hmm. An evil one.
Oh, yeah. Or at least, I think it's... Yeah, basically it's somewhere between being a religion, but because it doesn't posit anything supernatural, you could also just say that they take up the trappings of religion and they use the same brainwashing or a lot of the same brainwashing techniques.
I don't know, don't they worship the sky cloth? Isn't that the religion?
Well,
yeah, you could say that, but not accurately.
It's not a religion in that it doesn't speak to the nature of the universe or anything that religions sort of typically address, but it is very religious in that, and it does have a supernatural aspect because the idea of the state is something that is separate, or at least that's what they want you to believe, that it's somehow both separate from the people who make it up, but also part of them. Like, there's the bizarre kind of language where they will say that they are the state. So the the judge will call himself the court. The
Right.
prosecutor will say that they are the state. They're not the individual. They are acting as this thing that is somehow separate from them, that they are also part of.
And the belief is
bizarre.
The belief in authority itself. That's the deity that is worshipped.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is a belief. It's a human construct.
Right.
Right?
But something that suggests that you're better than others, or that you're above other people, that these group of cultists, which I think is the best word to put it, they believe that they are somehow different than the rest of us because they have combined together into this thing they call the state.
Well, and speaking of beliefs and religions, we have a caller on our Discord line. His name is Gene, the Christian anarchist. Gene, can you hear us?
Hey, guys, calling you from Phoenix. I thought I would come all the way out here to see if I could hook up with James.
Wow. Well, you sound great calling in on our Discord line, so thanks for using that and showing everybody else how good a guy can sound. Did you have any luck finding Mr. Neither Witty Nor Kind?
Nope, I haven't found him yet. Well, I just got off the plane a little bit ago, but...
All right, well, good luck in your hunt. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I thought I would talk about conspiracy theories, and I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Who told you to say that?
Nobody. Nobody told me.
Nobody told you.
Blame me.
So anyway, I love a good conspiracy. I believe, there were more than one shooter for Kennedy, and I believe that something else brought down those 3 towers other than fires. But there are a couple of conspiracies out there that give us conspiracy theorists a bad name, and I want to call
Flat Earth.
Yeah, Flat Earth is one of them, and chemtrails. And I just flew out here, and I saw a few through contrails. I saw a few contrails, and I thought about the chemtrail people.
Wait, isn't a contrail the footsteps of the convicts as they're picking up trash on the side of the highway?
Right. So, but I've tried to talk to some of these people, and you've got to, when you talk to people like that, you can't just call them names. It's not a good way to bring people into the fold by calling them idiots and dummies and things like that. So I try to convince them using arguments like, why is the day longer in the summertime in Alaska than it is in Hawaii? How can the earth be flat if the days differ on different parts of the globe?
Good points.
And, so you try to bring these things up. And then with the contrail people, I try to bring up the fact that, these things are up there. Some days you'll see all kinds of contrails, and you can actually look at an app on your phone that tells you what plane is up there. And you can look at a plane, then look at your app and say, oh, well, that must be American Airlines Flight 2342. So we know what every one of those airplanes are up there. It's not a mystery. They're not hidden in any way, shape, or form. You can look up in the sky and find out exactly what airplane that is. So the fact that we can identify
What's the app?
them,
Is there a name for it?
Yeah, it's Flight Aware. No, Flight Radar. Flight Radar 24, and you can also go to their website, flightradar24.com. There's another one too, but anyway, that one will get you all the information you need. So when you see them, you can look up. When I was in Venice last year, I posted to my Twitter because there was a bunch of contrails above Venice. So I took a picture of Venice with the contrails in the sky, and I said, oh, look, it looks like they're chemtrailing Venice too now. How in the world does the U.S. planes go all the way to Venice just to chemtrail the people in Venice? It's
a global governments in the world.
Yeah,
global
it's a UN
plot.
project.
And the other thing is, it would take so many of those airplanes. I mean, we don't have a fleet of an aircraft big enough to go spraying all over the planet. And then you've got to have pilots to fly them, unless these are self-flying airplanes.
No.
You got to have pilots. And how come none of those pilots are coming out saying, oh, yeah, I worked on the chemtrail bit for 5 years, for the government, secretly spraying all this stuff. Well,
It's
you
ridiculous.
Don't get that. Because so I try to convince people. And if there are people out there listening who are either flat earthers or chemtrailers, I love you guys all the same. but you really got to look at some of the evidence. Now, there is evidence to support that the buildings didn't collapse from fire, and there's evidence to support that Kennedy wasn't shot by a lone shooter. But there's no evidence to support chemtrails or flat Earth. I mean, nothing reliable, nothing real, just fake stuff.
Just paranoia. It's just, and when you talk to the chemtrail people, because we've had them calling in over the years, it's always interesting to ask them what do they believe the purpose is of the chemtrails. Is it because it usually breaks down, if you can get them to answer the question, to a few different two or three different options. They may believe that it's for mind control purposes. They may believe that it's for poisoning purposes. But either way, it's pretty effective to do government schooling for mind control. Why would you need to, spray things from an airplane for that? And then, as you pointed out, Gene, what kind of a person would go up to poison their own children, right? Like, unless they've only found pilots who don't have children and have no, compunction towards poisoning their neighbors or whatever. It's just unbelievable.
Or they've bred the soulless super soldier finally.
That something like that would happen.
Well, maybe the
and the
big
other
club
thing is
gets immunizations for it.
Maybe.
I mean,
And
real vaccine is
the-
not the stuff they're giving us.
And the logistics between trying to spray something from 35,000 feet. If you're at 35,000 feet and you spray something over New York City, it's probably going to land in New Hampshire or out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
There's just no way you could actually control anything sprayed at 35,000 feet. You've got jet streams up there that are going over 100 miles an hour.
Gene, are there any other conspiracy theories you're aware of that they don't want you to know about?
Well, I don't believe in the alien things simply because it's just too unlikely that life, if it did exist somewhere else, would have anything to do with this crappy place here. They'd give us a wide berth.
He's
if
one
we,
of them.
Anything
if they found
involving
us.
lizards.
All right, Gene.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call tonight. 855 450 free like freedom.
I saw Gene. He had an inner set of eyelids. He's one of them.
Oh, God.
More coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. The live call-in talk radio show that you can take control of. Let us know your thoughts, your feelings about, well, anything really. You're free to call in and bring up any topic. We tend to talk about freedom, or at least about things from the perspective of freedom. And tonight, I am your host of this live Monday night edition. I am the captain, and I'm joined by...
Nobody.
It's Ian.
And speaking of freedom, I'd like to tell you about Liberty.menu. For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses. We're helping build one. Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network aspect to it, so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively only for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. So, speaking of freedom and all of that kind of thing, I often refer to things like Bitcoin, for example, and Bitcoin Cash and cryptocurrencies and, things being developed on the blockchain, Ethereum, all that stuff as infrastructure for freedom, right? Because it proves that decentralized things not only work, but, can work pretty well. And I understand, Ian, you've got a story about something related to Bitcoin, about a guy named Craig Wright.
Yes, a lunatic who has just made it his life's work in recent years to spend time suing the people that he doesn't agree with. Folks like Roger Ver, for instance, one of our longtime sponsors here on Free Talk Live, have been sued by Craig Wright and a myriad of others.
And didn't Craig Wright claim to be Satoshi Nakamoto?
Still claims to be.
The pseudonym who invented the Bitcoin.
Correct. Satoshi Nakamoto is somebody who the world does not know truly who that individual or individuals is or are. But Craig Wright is claiming that it is he, and he has yet to actually prove that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. And the way that he would do that, should he wish to actually prove it rather than just asserting it, which is what he's been doing, is he could, for instance, sign something with his keys from his Bitcoin wallet that he should have as Satoshi Nakamoto. He should have what I believe they call the Genesis block. He should have access to that, the very first ever mined Bitcoin block that he was there. Supposedly, if he were Satoshi Nakamoto, he did.
Right.
And I believe that he has claimed Didn't he say that he lost his keys or something like that? Some lame-o excuse.
Wouldn't that be hilarious
Not
if
your
that really
keys,
happened?
not your money.
I mean, that would be tragic if the real Satoshi lost his keys.
It would be pathetic. It would be embarrassingly pathetic.
I'm no crypto. I'm not a cryptographer. I know very little on the surface about cryptography.
Me neither. Yeah.
I do remember doing the little Cracker Jack, crypto wheel, right? Where you could make codes and send secret messages to your pals at school or whatever.
Right.
That's about all the further into cryptography I've ever gotten. But you know that you need to keep a hold of that secret code, for future reference. And so if somebody as brilliant as the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto lost their keys, that would be tragic.
And so the news here about Craig Wright most recently is that he is now possibly going to try to sue Bitcoin.
Who's
Bitcoin?
Wait, yeah.
Great question. Bitcoin is a decentralized, supposedly.
That'd be like, I'm going to sue the ocean.
Right, because there's
you
thousands
can't
of
sue
nodes.
an idea. Ideas are lawsuit proof.
Well, now, if he can find individuals that are associated with Bitcoin, and a lot of those folks are public. There are programmers who work on the Bitcoin software, for instance. You could, in theory, unearth some of the locations of the nodes on the Bitcoin network, of which there are around 10,000, I think, the last time I looked, 10 or 11,000 of those, although not all of them will be findable. So I don't know exactly what his plan is here. I don't know if he knows what his plan is, but he's blustering about how he believes that, as claiming to be the inventor of Bitcoin, that this thing that he invented, and I can't read his rambling blog post about this because it would take more than an hour probably to actually read through this thing. I started reading it just sort of on my own, and I got tired after a couple pages.
This smells a lot to me, and by smell I mean it seems like I'm relating this to other things that I've seen. Every now and again there will be some washed up TV star or rock star or whatever, and they'll do something for no other purpose than try to get themselves in the media
back in the limelight.
Right? Yeah, because they've fallen off their head. Nobody will talk to them, or they can't get a speaking, whatever it is. Right, their gravy train is drying up. Right, and so they got to try some weird stunt or make some outrageous claim or whatever. Right,
they're behind on their mansion payments.
Exactly, and this sounds exactly like that, because what he's saying is not only impossible. Right, you can't sue the idea or the blockchain itself. It's a decentralized cryptocurrency, and if he were the actual inventor of Bitcoin, he would know that.
Well, and that's the funny thing about this is, now I don't know Satoshi Nakamoto, but I know of him and some of the thing, or her, we don't know, the person who is Satoshi Nakamoto. They've always seemed to be the kind of person who would appreciate the ideas of freedom. They've always seemed to be the kind of person who wants to undermine the banking cartel, the existing system, the financial system, the governments of the world. I mean, that's always the impression I got, from the writings and what people have said about Satoshi Nakamoto. But this Craig Wright guy is not like that at all. In fact, he actually at one point in his blog post attacks the anarchists. And this is not uncommon for Craig Wright to sort of be this government supporting character who acts as though Bitcoin was always meant to support the government and that it wasn't meant to get around the government. It's a public blockchain, so therefore it's not anonymous, he will say, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, he just doesn't sound like Satoshi Nakamoto. He doesn't take actions that you would expect Satoshi Nakamoto to take. And further, he has yet to prove that he's actually Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah, he sounds like a shill for the deep state.
It sounds like, in this case, Wright is wrong.
Here's the story from Coindesk.com. The Australian entrepreneur who claims to be the inventor of Bitcoin has suggested he may take legal action against the cryptocurrency's developer team and, well, by the way, against Bitcoin Cash. So he wants to go after Bitcoin, or BTC, the original Bitcoin, and BCH, Bitcoin Cash.
Isn't there a license on that code? Isn't it like GPL or LGPL?
MIT is his license.
MIT license? He doesn't have a leg to stand on. MIT license will let you do whatever you want with the code.
So he claims that it wasn't about the code. He claims that the database that the code created is his property. So you sound like you're familiar with this particular license. We'll get into what he's saying here in just a moment.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto? Give us a call, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We'd love to hear from Satoshi Nakamoto on Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this hospital.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget the road.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
Property,
what am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Yes, that's right. You're in the right place for Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, it's the live Monday edition. I've been doing a marathon session now, 3 days in a row here on Free Talk Live. It's pretty sweet. Whoa. So you'll pardon me if I forget for a moment just exactly what day it is.
It's another day of Free Talk Live, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. And I am your host, Captain Kickass, and I'm joined by...
Nobody.
And Ian.
And, well, we've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but, we've been sort of focused on the previous segment on this character named Craig Wright, who I believe is what they call a bad actor. Right?
He's a sham.
A sham, a guy who is...
Careful, he might sue you.
An attention seeker, right? A guy who wants to lie to make himself appear cooler than he actually is.
I would believe that too. And you can't actually sue somebody for saying, I believe he's this.
Oh, he'll try.
But the thing is, truth is a defense. And you didn't say he is that. You said you believe he's that.
I see.
That's the out that the newspapers use. They say sources say this. They don't say this is true.
Gotcha.
Interesting. So you guys had some further thoughts on this Craig Wright character?
Yeah, sure.
Well, we've got further story, don't we?
Yeah. He's talking about suing. In this case, he wants to sue the Bitcoin programmers, and he wants to sue the Bitcoin Cash programmers because he says he owns the database, meaning the blockchain. The blockchain being this public ledger that exists that has the history of all the Bitcoin transactions on it. He says that the code, he again is claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. So his argument here, well, I'll read his own words.
Let's hear it from the horse's
This
mouth.
is just an excerpt, though, because he's got just a pages-long blog just rambling on about this. But this is a summary from Coindesk.com. He said while forks of Bitcoin would be allowed under the open-source MIT license under which Bitcoin was released, copying the database would not. Quote, as the sole creator of Bitcoin, I own full rights to the Bitcoin registry. People can fork my software and make alternative versions, but they have no rights to change the protocol using the underlying database, he wrote. However, Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin ABC, these are the two teams that are programming both Bitcoin and then Bitcoin Cash, respectively.
Wait, Bitcoin Cash is being done by Bitcoin ABC?
Yeah, that's right. That's the name of the software, the full node software for Bitcoin Cash.
Okay.
He says they have, quote, sought to use my database without authority, said Wright. It should be noted that Wright's claim to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous inventor of Bitcoin, has not been proven either legally or to the satisfaction of many experts in the crypto community. He is also the backer of a different cryptocurrency, Bitcoin SV. So for those that aren't familiar, it was late 2018, I think, when Bitcoin Cash, which originally had split from Bitcoin back in 2017, Bitcoin Cash had its own schism. They had their own what they call chain split, which then created Bitcoin SV, which is supposed to be the one that is the true Bitcoin. And, it's a shame that this Craig Wright guy is so heavily involved in Bitcoin SV because according to the guys over at AnyPay, Derek and Steven, there are some really cool projects on Bitcoin SV. There's some really interesting programs and things that have been written for that platform. But sadly, they've got this idiot out there, running his mouth and throwing lawsuits around.
Let's fork Bitcoin SV.
In the post, Wright appeared to suggest he might attempt to take legal action against the Bitcoin teams, saying, quote, those involved with the copied systems that are passing themselves off as Bitcoin are hereby put on notice. Please trust me when I say I'm far nicer before the lawyers get involved.
Yeah, I don't trust him for a moment because first off, okay, the programmers, if he's suing them as programmers, they don't touch the database. They touch the code, which, the fact that somebody might be running your code on data that belongs to somebody else is nonsense. Secondly, he operated a node, presumably, because certainly if he was Satoshi, he must have tested his own software when he was the only person or one of a very small group of people that knew it existed. So he was propagating this software to or this database to other people. Is there a copyright notice on it? Does it say this must not be copied? Oh, absolutely not. Quite the opposite. There are instructions and encouragement on how to copy.
Everyone
the
running
database.
the full node has a copy.
Run a node.
Yeah, it would
he
seem
wrote
a guy...
the software that copied it, and he gave it out for free. And now he's going to say a decade later, you can't use the software in the way that I, as Satoshi, encouraged you to use it. This guy has got to be as dumb as a box of rocks.
It seems like a guy who is as lawyer happy as he apparently appears to be in his own words, would have had the presence of mind to protect his own, quote, intellectual property, unquote.
Yeah, if he wanted to protect
the inception of said intellectual property instead of making it publicly available.
Yeah, and for Craig, if you're listening, that ship sailed 10 years ago, jackass. Get off it.
Based on his claim to be Bitcoin's inventor, Wright said Core and ABC infringe his intellectual property rights under the MIT open source license under which Bitcoin is issued. That, however, allows the use of the code, quote, without restriction, unquote, as long as the copyright notice and permissions notice are, quote, included in all copies or substantial portions of the software. And then they give a brief summary of the MIT license.
And no open source license governs what you can do with the data produced by the program.
Well, he is asserting that he has, quote, database rights, unquote, in the EU and UK. Quote, as part of, this is what he wrote, as part of distributed global partnerships, senior partners within Core or ABC reside within Europe and the UK, presenting the opportunity to incorporate them in the matter without any jurisdictional challenges, he wrote. Elsewhere, he claims to have issued all 21 million Bitcoin and that the nodes are, in effect, quote, agents to my network, unquote. He says further, quote, if you negotiate with me, arrangements can be made allowing the continuance of selected copies of my network with a set of restrictions. In other words, I am willing to license the Bitcoin database, and I will do so on my terms.
So he wants to make this no longer distributed. So basically, if he got what he wanted, he would be killing it because it would be worthless. It would no longer be a distributed system. It would be a system,
licensed property.
It would be a licensed property. You would need his permission to operate. So it sounds to me like somebody who's not trying to take Bitcoin, but it's like somebody who's trying to kill Bitcoin.
It certainly does sound that way. I completely agree. And again, he's on the late train. Particularly, like, if he had this intimate level of knowledge of the product by creating it, why did he wait until now to go, oh, wait, by the way,
it's worth something. It's worth something now.
Right. It's frustrating.
So, yeah, there's a really lengthy blog post by this character that I will post on our Twitter at twitter.freetalklive.com. And also, you can find us on the Mastodon decentralized social media platform at toot.freetalklive.com or follow us on Telegram at telegram.freetalklive.com. So if you want to read everything this jackball has to say, you can do that.
It doesn't even seem like, and my understanding is that he actually was some kind of a coder, but it sounds like he doesn't understand the difference between data and code. Like he doesn't understand what an open source license is. Like he has no concept.
And he's obviously
of the world in which he claims to have been operating. So I don't understand what's going on with this guy. There's no, I don't see any way that he can be straight up.
And Satoshi wrote some very, libertarian / anarchist philosophy type of things, and this Craig Wright guy seems statist AF.
He's a straight up statist.
So, I'm going to get the lawyers after you, and all that kind of crap. So, 855-450 free like freedom. Your calls, your thoughts coming up after this.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive, the list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio, the media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Yes, this is Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That number again, 855-450-3733. We've been talking a lot about a lot of things. We've been talking about a lot of freedom-oriented things. And within that spirit, I wanted to tell you about LibertyCon. Here is a Liberty update from LibertyCon, so don't miss these two special debates. The first one is Government Necessary? This debate will feature David Friedman, yes, that's Milton Friedman's son, and Timothy Sandefur. David will be arguing that government isn't necessary, while Timothy will be arguing that government is necessary. The second debate is, does capitalism require government intervention? In this debate, Gene Epstein, the economics editor for Barron's, will debate Stephen Pearlstein of the Washington Post. Epstein will argue against intervention, and Pearlstein will argue in favor of it. Also, John Mackey, Whole Foods CEO, will speak on conscious capitalism. Be a part of LibertyCon. LibertyCon is a unique Liberty convention, April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C., for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for things like career advancement, business, or internship opportunities. Visit libertycon.com for more details on our incredible list of speakers, events, and student discounts. That's libertycon.com. You can use code FTL for a $10 discount. And I am hosting this live Monday night edition. People refer to me as the captain, and I'm joined by...
Nobody.
And Ian.
And let's get right into your calls and your thoughts. Let's go to David in New Mexico. David, you are on Free Talk Live.
Friedman, Epstein, Pearlstein. Man, is there any room for a good Gentile anymore?
Be gentle.
Sometimes
Yeah, okay.
I don't.
All right.
Sometimes I don't know when to pronounce Steen or Stein, but I do like a good Stein because they're generally the good Steins are filled with beer.
Right on. Oh, and hey, beavers are extinct. You'll have to settle for Mexican hairless or naked mole rat. But beavers are extinct. So.
No. Well, damn.
And anyway, so I'm going to save that child trafficking judge. I want to do some more reading, but here's the most fun article I have found to date. It's got a couple of legal things in here that are real interesting.
About
this
what?
is from the Albuquerque Journal, and the searchable title is UNM lifts suspension on Bragg. DA recuses self from case. And so if anybody's interested, they can look at that. But the most interesting parts of it, and there are two, is that if you go down in the article to the part where the writer writes potential conflict. So this Bernalillo County attorney Raul Torres had to recuse himself from the case where he's trying to prosecute these two basketball players. Why? Because he's married. This is New Mexico, the capital of nepotism. Everybody in New Mexico knows it and will admit it. But so the DA is married to the Dean of Students, Nasha Torres. And the Dean of Students is in charge of all disciplinary actions, whether you're a student or a non-student, for anything that needs discipline on the that happens on the university campus, University of New Mexico.
Okay.
And so it's a conflict. And the DA has actually admitted that it's a conflict and has transferred this basketball player's case 200 miles out of Albuquerque down to Alamogordo, which raises some interesting questions like, so this guy's got to drive 200 miles each way, 400-mile round trip to have his misdemeanor case heard. And what, are the cops that are going to testify against him, all the witnesses, they're going to go make a 400-mile round trip to testify against him? Seems like an easy one for lawyers to win.
Yeah, and wouldn't they have to do this for all of the cases that he's involved in?
Yeah, that's my other point. Raul, if you're listening, Nasha, if you're listening, once again, let me publicly call for one of you needs to resign, because by the admission that you've made, that you've admitted on the record that there is a legal conflict in this case. And as far as I can see, it's not unique to this case. Your admission means that every single disciplinary action on the university campus that results in any sort of criminal action needs to be transferred out of Bernalillo County, thereby making this problem, the cops having to drive out there, the witnesses, the defendant, lots of hotels, so anyway. But there's another interesting part of this, and I'm going to save one thing because it's kind of I'm going to tell you, Raul, I got an ace up my sleeve, and I ain't telling you what it is. I'm going to hit you over the head with it later when you come with your next claim, because it's going to conflict with my ace, and I'm going to hit you with it. But down in this article, it's rather interesting statement about what goes on nowadays. This Bragg basketball player, Bragg, he was at he transferred from a different school where he had been charged with having a fight with his girlfriend. It says right here, charged with battery against a woman in 2016. And it says not only was that charge
the crime,
dropped,
battery against a woman?
Yeah, battery as differentiated from assault. So he was charged with beating on this woman. The interesting part is that not only was that charge dropped, but the woman who made the allegation against him was later charged with a crime when the video surveillance of the incident was reviewed by prosecutors. So apparently some woman was lying and saying that this dude was beating on her, but the video showed that she was actually beating on him.
Surprise, surprise. Most domestic violence is actually initiated by women. They just don't get, it doesn't get reported.
Who was the guy? He was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, same thing happened. He got fired from one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and now they've found.
Turns out she was a psycho.
Pretty good evidence that she was a psycho, and she was assaulting him and saying, "Nobody's gonna believe you. You're a man."
It's like in sports ball, right? When a fight ensues during the sport, it's always the second guy, right? The guy who retaliates. That's the one who gets caught. They very rarely catch the original offender.
She was really hot, though.
Yeah. Speaking as nobody, I would like to say that your gender does not affect whether or not I believe you.
Indeed.
Right. So
what are you going to do, David?
Anyway, what am I going to do? Fight. These
all you can
bastards.
do.
These dirty bastards.
Thanks for the call.
Raul Torres, you dirty bastard. Nasha Torres, you dirty bastard. Oh, let me remind Raul and Nasha Torres, retaliation is a federal offense. Retaliation is a federal offense. Raul Torres, Nasha Torres. So if you don't like what I'm saying, go ahead and retaliate against me. I'll see you in federal court.
All right, David, thank you for the call. That keeps getting more and more interesting as time goes by.
I don't know. It's pretty much the same thing he talked about previously.
Yeah, most of that I had heard before, except for the bit about the domestic, bit, the battery.
Yeah.
So that was news. I mean, there's so much of.
You ever been attacked by a woman?
I have, actually.
Me too.
Yeah. I had some. Claw marks on me as a result from some giant, Lee press-on nails that punctured my skin, all that kind of stuff. I, of course, did nothing. No cops were called. Otherwise she, definitely got away with it.
Yep.
Had to throw a woman out of a car in Manchester because she wouldn't get her hands off my junk.
Were you her driver?
Wow.
No. I was, we were in the car. We were having a conversation. And she decided she was going to sell me some services, and I didn't want to buy said services. So she starts, grabbing on my junk, trying to, get
really
me
wanted to
convinced. And it's like, no. If you're trying to make me play a game that I don't want to play, that's not a turn on. You're getting out of my car right now.
Wow.
What? You don't want to buy this hamburger, but I'll just stuff it in your mouth, and then you have to buy it.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
It's like the window washer dudes in the big cities, right? They'll come up and they'll spray the stuff on your windshield and then squeegee it away, and they'll be like,
right, now you owe me.
Now you owe me. I washed your windows. Now pay up. I did the service. Pay up. You never agreed to the service. You never asked for the service. They just go ahead, perform it, and then expect you to hand them money.
Actually, it kind of reminds me of what Craig Wright is trying to do with his database.
It certainly does, doesn't it?
Everything that was said in the Bitcoin documentation was presumably written by him. So if it says do this, he's granting permission to do that.
Indeed he is. Well, I guess we're all out of time for today. I want to thank all of our callers and listeners, of course. Tune in weekdays. Every day we're here from 7 until 10 Eastern Time. freetalklive.com for our archives. Thank you and have a great evening. This has been Free Talk Live.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive